We have new details tonight on the vetting process for the potential running mate for Kamala Harris. ABC News is reporting today there are 4 people who were asked to now submit materials, and they are Roy Cooper of North Carolina, the Arizona Senator Mark Kelly, Governor Josh Shapiro of Pennsylvania, and she wants material from Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear. Some details about his background. The planned virtual roll call is sometime before August 7th, but the source close to ABC News and the campaign saying it is unlikely Kamala Harris will have a pick finalized by then. And while it's unclear if Andy Beshear will get the nod, today we got clarity on what would happen if he were to leave his seat here in Kentucky so quickly. Isaiah Kim Martinez and our senior photojournalist Alyssa Newton continue to follow the VP candidate watch tonight. And Isaiah, first of all, what are you hearing from Beshear's team tonight? I know we've been trying to confirm locally whether he's actually sent this material out.
Well, Doug, pretty much crickets since I've been reaching out to both his political strategists as well as his comms team tonight. Of course, I asked if they could confirm independently those reports that the governor is officially being vetted by VP Harris. Regardless, though, Kentucky's Republican Secretary of State tells me it's clear Andy Beshear is auditioning to be the next vice president. What's your take on the governor's name continuing to be in that VP conversation? Because you called it several weeks ago with me.
Well, number one, I wish the governor well as he's auditioning to be the next vice president of the United States. I think it looks good for Kentucky to have a Kentucky candidate, a Kentucky politician in the conversation.
As Vice President Kamala Harris's vetting process of Governor Andy Beshear as a potential running mate appears to be in full swing, reaction continues to pour in. Is he a viable candidate?
I do think he's in the mix. I'm hearing that from Washington. I have no idea who will get it. The Democrats would know better than I do. But I can certainly see their case. Their case would be, here's the one Democrat in America that won the votes out of 1 out of 8 registered Republicans in a Trump plus 25 state. That's got to at least get their attention, I would think.
People voted for him and voted for you.
Sure.
On the same ballot.
Sure they did. Yeah.
We sat down with Republican Kentucky Secretary of State Michael Adams. He thinks Beshear is in the hunt because of his messaging abilities and a sense of balance he'd provide to the ticket. What would your pitch be to Kamala Harris? Like, here's what he brings to a ticket. I asked him the same question yesterday.
Well, I'm not sure I want to give him up just yet, but if I were going to make a pitch for him, I would say what I've always said about him, and that's that he has been the governor that treats every Kentucky family as his own, and certainly we need more of that in the political world.
I talked to Kentucky's Lieutenant Governor Jacqueline Coleman on Tuesday, asking if she's prepared to step in if Beshear were called to D.C.
When people ask me if I'm ready, I just respond to them that that's my job.
Experts like Adams say the state constitution is not entirely clear about how the process would work if Beshear were to leave his seat.
What is clear is that if the governor were to resign for any reason, including becoming the vice president, then the powers of his office would devolve to Jacqueline Coleman, the lieutenant governor.
The key difference, while she'd act as governor, she'd still carry her old title, meaning she would not have the power to appoint a second in command. But this is all still hypothetical, and big picture, Republican Party of Kentucky spokesperson Andy Westbury is skeptical over what Beshear brings to the table.
There's a lot of different names being thrown around. You got to ask yourself, is Governor Beshear really that moderate? Here in Kentucky, we know better.
Interesting view there. So let's talk a little political reality, because we've certainly heard from the veteran political observers in this state for many years that Andy Beshear would be unlikely to even deliver Kentucky to the Harris ticket. Most likely will go big for Donald Trump again if you look at the past history here. So where is his value on that ticket to her if she was really looking at him closely?
Doug, based on what the Secretary of State Michael Adams told me, the idea that a VP guarantees you a state is a bit of a myth or maybe a misconception. Hasn't happened for decades in his mind. So he says what a candidate like Beshear potentially could bring would be more about messaging and balance to the ticket.
Okay, thank you very much, Isaiah. Well, President Biden will be addressing the nation in prime time tomorrow night at 8 o'clock from the Oval Office. You'll see it here from ABC News and WHAS 11. His first comment since withdrawing from the race. And Vice President Kamala Harris is going to be speaking in Indianapolis tomorrow. Isaiah is going to be there covering it for us as the vice presidential lottery that it still includes Andy Beshear continues.